Hello, welcome. Steven, the Elimination Chamber is this weekend.
Oh, it is.
And it is the final stop on the road to WrestleMania, even though it's not the final stop. So we have like a bunch of Raws and SmackDowns, but it's the final Peacock stop on the road to WrestleMania. We will know
PLE.
the final PLE before. We will know after this weekend who is going to be challenging for all the belts, well, the title belts, anyway, the main belts. And we'll have, I think, a pretty good idea of how the card's going to shape out for Mania. Currently, the Elimination Chamber only has 4 matches. I would think that possibly after Raw we'll get one more.
Maybe, but the Chamber, like the Rumble, is a long event.
It's a longer match. It tends to be a little shorter than the Rumble because it is more high impact, and you're not taking.
There's 5 minutes in between, right? So it's at least 20.
So you're
really it's closer to half an hour for each.
You're going to get 35-40 per match, but that's still shorter than a Rumble. I think but Dwayne's here too, so that
and that segment's going to be 40 minutes, and that's just him walking down to the ring.
If you watch SmackDown, his segment was over a half an hour.
I heard.
And it was the most nonsensical thing I think I've ever seen on WWE. And that's saying something. Like, that's a high bar to clear. So we'll get to that. We'll make predictions for Dwayne and Cody and all of that stuff too. But we're going to run through these matches and pick our winners. Let's start, Stephen, with the Women's Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
The match that I think will kick us off. So you've got Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. I have no idea who to pick here. What do you think?
Okay, I'm going to go process of elimination a little bit.
Okay.
Roxanne Perez is definitely in the picture to be a main eventer next year.
I think she's going to have a match with Bayley at Mania. So
yeah, so you can set that storyline up. I don't think she's the one to go against Rhea. It just doesn't fit. Alexa, definitely part of Wyatt 6. We already saw the Wyatt 6, the cut-ins during her appearance on Raw or SmackDown, whatever show she's on. I also don't think she's ready. She just looked slow and rusty.
Well, that isn't going to stop with someone else. But
yeah, that's true. But I can't see him doing it both times. That's just not a good idea. Liv, you can't tell that story again. You just can't. It's just keep them away from each other. They can do the little run-in pot shots at each other, but they shouldn't be in a match anytime soon. So really, it's between the other 3. I don't see Bayley. I just don't. I think it has to be Naomi or Bianca. Naomi is quite popular, not as much as her husband, but still pretty up or over with the fans. We're feeling the glow. I've come around on Naomi quite a bit, actually, over the last year. I definitely was a Naomi hater. And now I'm I tend to enjoy more of the matches she's in than not. I still think the most interesting story to tell is Bianca turning heel before the match with Rhea. And that's also the best match, but I think they're scared to do it right now. But Rhea's like a quasi face. So it has to be. I don't know. I'm going to go with Bianca because it's the boring answer. I hope they don't do the Naomi heel turn. She was the one that attacked Jade. I thought Bianca would make the most sense, and it would be the most fun. And I think it'd be good for Bianca's character as well to be a heel for a little bit, unless she's just one who's I don't want to, which is fine.
I am all for Bianca heel, or heel Bianca.
I think she'd be great at it. The EST shtick kind of works with the heel.
It does. It does.
I hope it's Bianca. So then, I guess if Bianca goes heel, I say she wins. Otherwise, Naomi turns heel and she wins.
Okay, I see where you're going. I'm not gonna go in with you on it though.
That's fine.
I think we're heading towards potentially a Bianca v Naomi match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And I think that could get set up at the Chamber or the night after, or like the SmackDown after. Which show are they on now? I forget. Raw, right?
They make appearances.
No,
I know they're on SmackDown.
SmackDown.
But they make appearances on both because they're the tag title holders.
Yeah.
And
so I think we'll find out here in the next week and a half what is going on with Jade and all of that. But I think there's a chance it happens Sunday. And I think it could be in those moments, like we'll get a time where Bianca and Naomi are sort of teaming up, right?
yeah.
And doing those things in the Chamber. We might get that like really cliched moment at this point where one of them turns on the other one. I doubt that. But we could get that moment where Jade's music hits. And you just look for the reactions of that moment, and that could cost one or both of them a pinfall. That I could see that happening very easily. Bayley's not winning this. Bayley, I think Bayley has another great run left in her as a champion. I don't know that it should be yet, though. I didn't love her run after Mania last year.
It was not great.
And she's even said that. I think Bayley's a great performer. I don't know that we need her at that level, and I haven't seen the build up to getting her to that level.
And
in the last few months,
back to being a heel. She's so much more fun.
It is so much more fun. Roxanne Perez is not there yet. I think it will be. Is certainly within grown possibility. I like what you said. A year away.
Yeah, it feels very much like Bianca or Rhea first felt the first time. Like they had the good Rumble moment. And they'll make a wrestling, or they might have a match at Mania, or more likely they come back the following year.
So you're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this, but yeah. I have it down between Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss.
So which one do you want to see, and which one happens?
So if it's Liv, I think we get a triple threat at WrestleMania with Liv Morgan, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley, which I can live with there.
Pun absolutely intended.
Yeah. So I'd be okay with that. I think that would be a pretty solid match.
I would be okay, and you might disagree, and I might disagree when it happens. But I would also maybe be okay with Alexa Bliss and winning it But it's hard because it feels like the Wyatt Six are definitely faces. So, but shouldn't they be heels? Aren't they more fun that way? Like if that whole shtick, isn't it more fun when it's a heel bit?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like Bray Wyatt was a genius.
Yeah.
I didn't like his Fiend run creatively as much as I loved the Wyatt family, the core Wyatt family run. So I think it's just tough. You have this supernatural, very powerful group that aren't main eventers, so you can't have them super dominate. So what do you do?
Yeah,
they're stuck in mid card. They've already needed a reboot. I'm not sure that creatively WWE knows what to do with a group like that. And it's unfortunate because now obviously Bray Wyatt sadly isn't around to share his vision for where that story can go. I do think that Alexa Bliss will help that out tremendously. I think character-wise, she is strong. In the ring, it's probably going to take a minute. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan to win this and go on to WrestleMania one more time against Rhea. Potentially, I think a triple threat match. So,
do you think we get a triple threat? Bianca, Naomi, and Cargill at Mania as well?
Maybe, especially if we learn that Bianca and Naomi had their own little New Day moment where they together did it. And then Jade wants her revenge, right? So, who knows?
I know what, a lot of fans, Bianca versus Rhea is probably the match that most people want from the women's division and have for a while. It's definitely their most interesting one. I worry if it happens, and like we want it soon, but we also don't want it to be a thing where we see it for the next 20 years because both of them are relatively young. I mean, Rhea is young. Bianca, I think, is only like 31. So they're both pretty young.
Right.
And so it's one of those things you got to find the right time. And I don't think they've set it up well enough to do here. I think it should be coming next year. And I think
you want to get it with them. You want to get a big run rivalry with them before the injury bug starts to hit, before the mileage catches up.
Yeah, it's got to be in the next year or two, but I don't know if they've done enough to set it up right now, as much as we all would love the match.
No,
unless you kicked off a trilogy and did it at here, Slam, and like Survivor Series.
I would like to see Bianca win Queen of the Ring and then have like a month and a half to sort of build the SummerSlam.
Yeah.
With Rhea Ripley. I think that would be fun. So,
yeah.
Okay. Let's do the tag match next. We have Tiffany Stratton teaming with Trish Stratus going up against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. This has been interesting to me because Tiffany Stratton now has had to pivot into being more of a face because Charlotte, who would have thought, didn't work as a face, and now we've had to make her a heel, which everybody that's ever watched wrestling would be able to tell you. But they've had to do that, so now Tiffany's had to become more face. So what better way than to team her with Trish Stratus and Stratus hometown? Will we get some Stratusfaction on Saturday?
Yeah. I 100% think Tiffany and Trish win unless... Did you mean Tiffany went more face, not Trish? You said Trish.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant Tiffany. My bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I fully agree with that in the sense that I think Tiffany was like beloved by fans, and it was really hard because she was doing the bit like Rhea and Damian were doing where they were heels, but the fans loved them so much that they kind of stopped being heels. And I think that's where Tiffy was. Like, even her promo after she won was kind of like, I'm going to do the heel promo. And the fans were like, nope, we don't care. We're cheering you and we love you and you're the best. And it's Tiffy time. And so, yeah, I mean, I do agree that Charlotte is not a face. Like, at the most part, it's like kind of the Austin thing where she's liked but hated. But fans are, for some reason, sick of her. So it's not all that surprising Tiffy turn face. I think it's Trishy time on Saturday, unless Trish goes back to being a heel and like turns on Tiff, which could be an interesting story leading. I
don't see that, but
yeah, I'm just trying to make it interesting for the viewers. I think this match is relatively safe and easy to call.
Yeah, Trish Stratus isn't wrestling in Toronto to lose or turn heel. She is wrestling to be cheered and get a victory. I don't know if she'll get the pin or not. I imagine that she probably will here.
Candice probably.
Yeah, Candice is here to take the pin. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I will say, though, I do think Tiffy is going more face, and I think it's happening more because of what's being done to her than her own actions.
Yeah.
But Charlotte's coming out and being very mean.
Yeah.
Many are saying.
I saw someone describe it as the mother being jealous of the younger daughter's looks when she was behind her 2 SmackDowns ago or 3 SmackDowns ago. And I think that's the perfect comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffy has taken your place.
Yeah, and I don't think like from an in-ring standpoint she has yet.
No,
but you know, I know what you mean, and you're definitely not wrong. So, but this to me is more of a slam dunk. It's to give Tiffy something to do till Mania, and Trish is gonna come in. I hope Trish Stratus has another longer run. I actually really enjoyed her run a couple of years ago with the thank you Trish shirts and all of that. Like that was fun. So I'm all for that. Okay. The unsanctioned match, Stephen, too risky to be put on TV, except it's on TV and it's at the show.
It's just I could not make fun of Adam Pearce. Like, how did he say those words with a straight face? Like, we're gonna the
match is gonna happen, but it's unsanctioned. Like, okay,
But it's on the pay-per-view or premium live event.
So there's
given
live
TV
record of what
time.
you're allowing to occur on your,
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, sure.
But there'll be a ref there.
Would rather
Whatever.
powerless except for counting to 3.
So this match is definitely not happening at Mania then,
No.
which makes me even more sure that Randall Keith is coming back, and it'll be Randall Keith against Kevin Owens at Mania.
Yeah. This is weird for me though, Steven, because I think Kevin Owens needs to get a dub here.
He does, and I think he wins. And I think Sami gets taken off television for a minute.
Do you think he's at Mania? Or do you think he's off the card this year? I don't know if there's a place at Mania for him.
Well, this was the match I thought was like booked for Mania. I'm okay with him not being at Mania. It sucks for him. Man, it was only 3 years ago that he was in that really shitty or less good match with Johnny Knoxville. It was a joke of a match.
Shitty's a fair way to put it, I think.
And it was sucked for Sami, and then Sami went on a tear, man. Like Sami Mania. But yeah, I think a little bit of time off and just a break. Because I think Kevin Owens is right in some of what he's saying. Like Zayn is
the best kind of heel.
Become this. He's like in everybody's storyline, and it just needs a minute.
Yep.
Just a little bit of time off.
I do think it'll be the type of thing where Sami will pop in during the match at Mania, because I do agree with you. We're heading towards Randy Orton.
With Jay? You think the Jay match or this match?
This match.
Okay.
Maybe Sami will just live up to KO's thing and just pop into all the matches.
Sami should do announcing for be a guest announcer.
Yeah.
But
I think he's probably not going to have a match at Mania, but he's going to, I think, play a role in the Orton.
Yeah.
What we're assuming will be the Orton KO match. And that's a cool payoff. I think that'll be a really physical match. Given Randy Orton's age, you're running out of time to have that physical of a match. So at Mania, so do it now.
What was Kevin Owens' last premium live event win?
It's been a long time. It's been quite a while. I don't know.
It's hard, right? Like he has lost a lot. He
has to win this match
in a row.
So I think what will happen is he gets the win, and then he's going to start going for pile drivers, and that's when Randy comes out and stops.
I feel like one of his last wins was the Survivor Series match 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean I know he's.
The Bloodline won that, didn't it? I don't even know.
He's had one since then, but I don't know for sure.
It's so it's poor Kevin Owens.
He'll win, and then he's gonna try for attempted murder, and then we'll get Randy out there to save the day. So, okay, men's elimination chamber. You have John Cena versus CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth freaking Rollins. It's a stacked chamber match. And I think this one, in my opinion, is better balanced with the different varieties and types of wrestler than the women's one is. You've got Logan Paul who can do some crazy acrobatic shit. You've got your power guys like Drew and Damian Priest, who are also workhorses. That's going to allow Cena, maybe even Punk, to take the occasional rest, right? And then Rollins is he's all around. He's a workhorse all the way. So this one, I could make an argument for any of these 6 deserving to win. Begrudgingly so in some cases. But I'm going to say it's John Cena. We're getting Cena Cody at Mania. But I will say this. There is just a small part of me that thinks we could see CM Punk Cody at Mania. So don't give me a total wrong if that's what ends up happening. What
I find it hilarious that we are where we're at, because I think it's 100% Punk.
Do you really? Okay.
I think,
Why?
well, first of all, Cena, Mr. Comeback Tour, the never on TV, wrestled one match, if you could call it wrestling, and is in this match, which it's almost like watching a train wreck about to happen or a car crash. Like, you just,
As we've come to learn, Stephen, the last time is once a month.
yeah. So
The last time isn't now.
I feel
Well, it's
like
now
you
in
have to
5
give
days.
Punk the moment. It's just, there's a lot of it should be Punk. It should be Punk, and Punk should take it off Cody. I don't see Damian because I don't find that all that interesting, and I think there's better stories. I would love Drew, but it's never gonna happen. Logan Paul can fall off the roof of the chamber, and I don't know how much I would shed a tear. I would love Rollins as well, but I'm not sure that would happen. So it's really between Punk and Cena, and I'm going with Punk since you're going with Cena. Bailey,
Okay.
you need to chill, dog. Sorry, my dog is being
That's okay.
crazy.
Mine will get in here in a sec.
By the way, I looked it up. Kevin Owens' last win was on May 27, 2023 at Night of Champions against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. The last win at a real pay-per-view was like a month a month and a half
Like a
before.
non-Saudi one is what you're saying.
Yeah, at Mania Night 1 when he was with Sami against the Usos for the title.
That's
change.
incredible.
So it's been basically 1 month shy of 2 years. Night of Champions, I guess, was a premium live event, I guess. So he has lost almost every match
We're
he's
coming
been
up
in,
on 2 years.
since. And that sucks, man, for Kevin Owens.
It really does. But he just signed another long-term deal. So he's happy, or he's happy with the money. I don't know which.
Well, you could go to AEW and you could maybe win a title, but I don't know. Like, I feel
in front of well, here's the thing. They get amazing crowds for their pay-per-views. Because their pay-per-views are good. Their TV really doesn't draw as well. I think they should go back to the smaller arenas on TV, like that Florida one that they were in for a long time.
I would agree. I think some of the smaller...
Go for the atmosphere and the vibe rather than the crowd size. Like, WWE can do the crowd size and they can brag about it every week, and that's fine. But AEW should be more about creating the atmosphere.
Yeah. But this is a WWE pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
Who's first eliminated out of the men's?
Man, I'm gonna go Drew McIntyre.
See, I was thinking that too, and I hate that because that's just all they've been doing with him.
But I think it fits what they're doing with him.
Punching bag. It's so annoying. I could see it being Rollins in a I don't want to say a roll up, but basically a surprised fashion by Punk, and just set him on that path. With Drew not too far behind. I think Damian pins Drew, by the way, and I think Punk pins Rollins. I think Cena pins Paul for the pictures.
Well, Drew's now, they're stoking this thing with LA Knight. I don't know if they've switched. I've heard rumors that they switched off of McIntyre and Priest. But and they might go towards LA Knight now, which I don't like that match. Honestly, just on the surface, I would much rather see Priest and McIntyre. But I've been converted to Damian Priest, I'm a Priest stan at this point. So I would love to see that match, but yeah, I think we'll learn a lot here. I wouldn't be surprised either to see Roman Reigns make some sort of appearance that really impacts Seth Rollins. Don't forget we have the favor from Paul Heyman still lurking out there. We don't know what it is or when it'll appear.
And see, I wonder if that's how he gets into a triple threat Punk, Cena, and Rhodes at Mania, and I would be okay with that as long as Punk.
I think Cena's gonna need it.
Yeah, I agree. Cena can't do a one-on-one. He's wrestled.
You're into a Sunday night one-on-one WrestleMania for 35 minutes. That has to live up in some way to the main event last year.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Like, no, Punk in that match can make that it gives it a shot anyway. Okay, Steven, as we're at about 25 minutes, I want to jump in to Dwayne.
Oh, I forgot about him.
And Dwayne is going to show up in Toronto to check in with Cody Rhodes on wanting his soul. It was the weirdest damn segment ever. And I think we should talk about it as long as Dwayne did, because then we'll get another like 2 or 3 ad runs in here. And but first Dwayne wanted a brother really bad. And then he wanted like the belt, but then not the belt. He wanted his soul and not a brother. And I have no idea. I mean, I know what he's saying, but he said it so poorly. It just came off really bizarrely. He wants to have his guy. That's like his almost puppet. So he can control the WWE Championship.
Well, then I have an idea of who you could get.
Now, here's the thing. He's offered it to Cody, and he wants an answer from Cody on Saturday. I think we all know Cody's answer is going to be no, right?
Yeah.
But somebody's answer will be yes. Who do you think?
It's got to be Fatu, right?
See, I don't want that.
What if it's Punk?
I think it could be. I think there's another guy.
Drew?
2 guys that it could be. One of them I think is highly, highly unlikely, but would be so much freaking fun.
Ayo.
No.
Oh, Cena?
Yep.
That would be interesting. Can they handle
What if he wants it that bad?
That would be an interesting story.
Man, like, you want to really get people locked in to this 1 year like thing. I'd be locked in, and I have called this thing the Reign of Terror since we first knew it was coming. I think there's one other one that you will hate, but begrudgingly acknowledge that it makes so much sense. Logan Paul.
Tyler, I might shut off wrestling forever. We'll find.
Doesn't it make sense though? Because Dwayne is arguably the most famous person in the world.
Well, I know Logan would want that.
Yeah, so Logan like cares about the clicks and cares about the stuff and whatever and all that. All the stuff Dwayne can give him. So when Dwayne was appealing to Cody on SmackDown, he was talking about Instagram followers and all of that shit. And that shit doesn't mean anything to Cody Rhodes. But it does mean something to Logan Paul.
Logan's the boring one, though. Cena's so interesting.
I agree. If I have to choose, I would so much rather see Cena take it. And I would rather see Punk take it.
Punk would be interesting, too.
Cena's been doing a heel turn for 15 years.
Corporate Punk. Corporate Cena it's so intriguing.
They could talk about how they went Hollywood and they're coming back to take over. It's just, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Then Cena could bring back the big ass chain around his neck. Talk about balls all the time like he used to.
I have heard the raps. I was watching the Ruthless Aggression doc the other week.
So I think it's one of those 3. Drew would be interesting, but I don't see it. Drew's character right now doesn't strike me as the like I'm going to acquiesce to anyone. it would go against what he stands for, I feel.
I really would love a KO Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, like team up
I
scary.
still think we're heading that way. I do.
Faction.
After Mania. But if you do this, then it's like Dwayne can still be there even when Dwayne's not there.
Yeah.
Dwayne does also doesn't need to wrestle. The argument against Cena is that it won't even get this story until next WrestleMania because Cena's gone after December.
But could you convince him to go a like until I lose sort of thing, like the retirement?
That
of
would be
Ric
interesting,
Flair?
like Ric Flair.
I mean, it'd be a
style.
real like F you to Ric Flair if you took the title numbers and then did that too.
You know, Stephen Ric Flair gave the FU to Ric Flair's retirement storylines when he unretired and then kept going
7 million times.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he wrestling at 85 now?
So I think there's part of me that thinks this makes so much sense for Logan Paul to do.
I might struggle watching wrestling. I've already made it a point to whenever Paul comes out on weekly television to skip ahead, or I just didn't watch their match on Raw from 2. I'm just not doing it because I think that's the only way to like. Because booing is they're just gonna hear money, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching,
Oh, yeah.
every time you boo. But if I actually turn it off, like it might.
Charlotte said it. When you boo, all I hear is money.
Yeah.
You know. So
we got to wrap because the dog is going crazy
right
now.
The dog says it's time to go. So anyway, those are our picks. Let us know what you think. Who is going to be Dwayne's chosen person? Well, who's going to choose Dwayne, we should say. Who's going to win these matches? What are our WrestleMania, matchups going to be? So we'll let us know in comments. Also like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. And we will have a live watch along on Saturday. So join us for that. We will see you then. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.